Just look at my curtains. Aren't they a bright, sunshiny yellow? Full of joy and light, my friends. That's what we're all about. Now, the internet, it does make for very strange behaviour, doesn't it? But it's not that I actively don't talk about, particular celebrities or things going on in the world. But obviously there are things that come up that are relevant. And at the moment, since being famous for basically getting her tits out on not Baywatch, and being, very young and pert and blonde and attractive in the 80s and 90s, and then getting married to, well, I'm assuming that there was some substance abuse issues going on with Tommy Lee, her former husband, and then having children with him. I just think, God, what must it be like being a Hollywood child? I mean, it must just be so embarrassing and humiliating. I mean, what on earth are you supposed to do? I'll be honest, what kind of chance have you got when it's all sort of drugs and divorce and just it all plastered all over? And the thing is, even though the internet wasn't really big back in the 80s or 90s, it was sort of around, but it didn't proliferate. There was still, television programs, chat shows, and magazines, all these different things, and they will have grown up with all of that. And it's the children that really do get forgotten in all these things. But the thing is now, after leaving Tommy Lee and having, a small line of other husbands, she's now, professed her love for latest actor du jour. And walking around, and I don't want to sound really rude, but walking around doing this, I'm not wearing makeup anymore because it's misogynistic, because it's oppressive, when these people have all made their fortunes. They've all garnered their reputations by being famous on the telly box for being pretty and having a little bit of boop, boop, it's all hypocritical, but also it's subversive and inverting, right? It's this idea that, oh yeah, Pamela Anderson, she's in her, well, what? Has she turned 60? Late 50s, early 60s. Oh yeah, she's just as attractive now with her huge eyes and this surgeried face and this really bizarre hairstyle, whether it's her hair or a wig. I mean, God only knows. Or something else. Who can say? But to pretend now that she looks better than when she was in her 20s and her 30s, there are people online desperately trying to keep up the "she still got it" moniker, They're all desperately, I mean, not only are the actual stars trying to do it, but there are people online saying, I think she looks better now with no makeup and her hair. And it's always women. It is always women. Because the thing is, what they're actually saying, I mean, hardly anybody will actually admit this, but what women are saying by supporting Pamela in her new look with her new hairdo is, thank goodness for that, I don't have to be jealous of her anymore. Pamela Anderson ain't no competition for me though. It's so crass. And it's not true. And the thing is, when they do these posts, they know that they're lying. They know that they are deluding themselves and attempting to delude the audience to which they're speaking. But it's all really undignified. And I know that I've been particularly mocking in this video, but we can smell a rat, you know, we can tell when something's bullshit. And we're being gaslit all the time. And I have to say that there are a lot of people who use terms like gaslighting or narcissistic. But the thing is, I have actually dealt with some, and I'm not kind of trying to out-narc people. I'm not trying to say, oh, you know, break out the violins, yeah, because I've had it so much worse. But I have actually dealt with some quite extreme personalities in my time. And the reason that this is relevant is when you can start to recognize inversion somewhere, whether it's in celebrity culture, we see these things, you know, the timeline is full of lots of different things and we witness it. And let's face it, if you were to walk into Pamela Anderson in the street and you would look at her, you would jump. You would jump. And there are millions of people who out there who know this full well. But if you can spot inversion in one arena or in one particular circumstance, well, you'll start to develop an intuition to actually spot that in all of the areas of your life. It's all about awareness. It's all about observation. And ultimately, it's all about being truthful. And the thing is, what used to happen pre-internet days is you would have young women, and to be honest, this is cross-cultural. Wherever you are in the world, you would have young women and they would get attached to a chap, and she would be young and she would be pretty, or she would absolutely make the best of herself. She wouldn't have billions of tattoos. She wouldn't have trillions of former sexual partners or one-night stands, you know, what they refer to as the body count these days. And then when they were young, relatively young, they would have their brood of children, and then that young lady would become a mother, and then she would become a grandmother, and so on. Often, you know, it could be a great grandmother, and she would vanish into the background or fade into the background, because life happens in stages. And she's not vanishing into the background because she is irrelevant, but the next generation follows, you see, and there's a natural lineage to all of it, you know. And there are different epochs of our lives, and we seem to want to just homogenize them and blend them all into this totally blah kind of nondescript mush that you can be hot at any age, when that's not the point. And point proving to a lot of people has become the point, and it's so trying because they are trying to convince us of things that are not true. And it makes us feel irksome and grubby, because we know that we're being lied to. We know that whoever is pushing this crap is trying to manipulate us. And nobody wants that in their lives. Nobody wants to have their noses rubbed in all of this dirt. It's ugly and it's lies. There's no authenticity in any of it. And it all, to me, reeks of desperation. We don't want to live our lives that way. I'm being a bit ranty today. But I look at these things and just think, oh my God, how much attention do you possibly need when you've been a world famous TV star and you are, well, you've earned millions. I mean, maybe they've run out of money and now she has to do this publicity circuit to try and raise some funds again by just parading her deer in the headlights expression. My name is Pamela Anderson. I can't move my face, you know? And it's this kind of alien look that they all have. But it's gross. It's really icky and vulgar. And it's not real. It's not real. And to be fair, we're trying to establish what our roles are in society. But a little bit of dignity goes an awful long way. And class and sophistication aren't quite the qualities or the quantities that they used to be. So I think let's be a bit more dignified. Let's be a little bit more modest, perchance. Let's be just a little bit more grateful for all the things that we've had, but not have to parade around like whatever we've had hasn't been good enough. Because it has. Attitude of gratitude will also take you a very, very long way. And once you're past a certain stage, you have to make way for the future generations and allow them the opportunity to shine. So just be honest. Live not by lies. It will put you in good stead, my friends. Thank you very much for watching. Over and out.